Like us on Facebook at Choice TV SLU. Stay up to date with the latest entertainment and news stories that matter most. What are you waiting for?
Time check brought to you by Massey Home, your way to a beautiful home.
You're watching Choice TV, the people's choice for TV. This segment of the news brought to you by Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need. Hello everyone, welcome to Choice News Now Prime. I'm Shane Cherry. Watch the broadcast live on our Choice TV Facebook page, Choice TV SLU, and our YouTube channel at Choice TV St. Lucia. Or listen to the simulcast on Liberty Radio 92.3 FM. In the news tonight, the Prime Minister announces tax reform plans to strengthen compliance and boost the government revenue collection. Ahlan restaurant brings authentic Lebanese and Mediterranean fine dining to Rodney Bay. The L'Histoire Collective launches Tiwe L'Histoire Anthology, showcasing 12 emerging St. Lucian writers. And the news from the region, Trinidad and Tobago's PM vows continued pressure on crime as new mobile police posts expand island-wide. Now, top story tonight. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre is signaling a tougher approach to tax collection as government moves to strengthen voluntary compliance and boost revenue during the extended tax amnesty period. Pierre says previous amnesties have not delivered the desired results and has announced plans for tax reforms aimed at improving collections, reducing the burden on taxpayers, and bringing St. Lucia into greater alignment with international taxation standards. Sienna Dalson reports.
A couple of months after the extension of St. Lucia's tax amnesty program to December 2027, and a couple of weeks after the end of the 2026 Caribbean Organization of Tax Administrators Quota General Assembly, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre revealed plans to strengthen voluntary tax compliance. At the pre-cabinet briefing held on the 10th of August, the Prime Minister expressed dissatisfaction with the performance of previous amnesties and revealed plans to boost tax collection throughout the present amnesty period.
I'm going to announce a special tax amnesty unit to the issue of tax amnesty, because we believe that there is enough taxes due out there to assist us in combating the fiscal problems, the fiscal issues that we have.
He further revealed an intention to introduce pieces of legislation to bring St. Lucia in greater conformity with international taxation systems.
Our job is to comply with all international tax relations. Parliament is happening tomorrow, either tomorrow or the week after. We're going to pass another set of legislation to deal with international tax matters, because we want to be compliant. But if you're not compliant, you get blacklisted. St. Lucia is not been blacklisted, but St. Lucia has to take certain measures to ensure that we do not get blacklisted.
Pierre highlighted the measures in place to keep St. Lucia's income tax burden relatively low, and also highlighted that St. Lucia's value-added tax rate is among the region's lowest.
We've said that all young people like yourself who want to buy a piece of land, right now you get 50% interest reduction. Young people. We've also said that if you have any medical expenses, 100% free. We know that certain people want to go abroad to get medical treatment, 100% tax free. We've increased the threshold to $40,000. We've said that there are certain things that if you're carrying a dependent relative, we've increased that. We've increased the allowance for child support in terms of if you have a child at university, etc. So we are trying all means to reduce the tax burden.
Against this backdrop, the Prime Minister characterized St. Lucia's tax regime as generous and reiterated his commitment to bring about greater levels of international tax compliance. For Choice News Now, I am Sienna Dalso.
Carnival's infectious energy is increasingly moving beyond the shoreline as boat rides and private events at sea become a growing part of the festivities. But as more revelers take to the water for music and entertainment, concerns are emerging over whether maritime safety measures are keeping pace with the rising popularity of these floating celebrations. Kishana Smith tells us more.
For many, Carnival is synonymous with celebration, color, and an almost inexhaustible appetite for entertainment. In recent years, boat rides have emerged as one of the season's most sought-after experiences, drawing large crowds eager to party against the backdrop of St. Lucia's picturesque coastline. But as more people take their celebrations offshore, concerns are mounting over the adequacy of safety and security measures aboard these vessels. For some revelers, the excitement of the music, atmosphere, and social spectacle can overshadow the very real risks associated with having large numbers of people aboard a vessel. The issue was brought before the Minister of Tourism, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, who acknowledged that greater attention must be paid to safety aboard boat rides.
I agree with that totally. I think, and we're going to push for it. I mean, the Prime Minister has announced an inquiry into the incident which took place, and I think one of his intentions is to get some very clear recommendations on how we can tighten the marine-based activities. We really have to tighten up on it. I mean, you know, those of you who go on boat rides or even go out on boats, maybe Mr. Daisy can know about that, I don't know. You know, it's really something we need to be very intent on controlling the standards.
Drawing comparisons with international practices, he noted that in some countries, the use of safety equipment is mandatory for individuals venturing out to sea. While not definitely stating that the island will adopt this approach, he maintained that as it stands, there is need for enhanced security.
There are some countries, once you go out, you have to put on a life jacket. Once you go out on a boat, you put on a life jacket. Now, can you imagine having a fete on a boat and everybody have a life jacket on them, how it feels? Again, I'm not an expert on those things, but I can say to you, I believe we really need to enhance the security.
Minister Hilaire indicated that the initiative would necessitate increased investment in the Marine Unit to strengthen monitoring, enforcement, and overall maritime safety. Looking beyond private events and recreational boat rides, he emphasized that the implementation of such safety protocols is equally important for boat tours and other marine-based activities that form a vital part of St. Lucia's tourism offering.
It means government will have to invest more in the marine police to enhance the capabilities, but we have to do it. We just cannot allow it. And also for tourism too, because for all the boat tours that have increased significantly in St. Lucia in the last few years, we need to make sure we are not putting people's lives in danger.
His position is that the protection of visitors and residents alike participating in these experiences must form part of a broader national tourism strategy, particularly as St. Lucia continues to expand its tourism product beyond traditional land-based attractions. And with boat parties now firmly woven into the island's entertainment landscape, the conversation is no longer simply about how to make the experience more enjoyable, but how to ensure that the celebration does not come at the expense of safety. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
St. Lucia's Citizenship by Investment program recorded a significant increase in revenue and applications during the 2024-2025 financial year. The latest annual report shows the program generated $400.2 million EC dollars, a 67% increase over the previous year, while processing more than 2,600 applications. The report also details strengthening due diligence, increased application approvals, and the program's response to growing international scrutiny. Sienna Dalson tells us more.
2025, in April 2026, local news media have been taking a look into this most recent report, given the high scrutiny and increasing criticism of the program. The report included the perspectives of those at the helm of the program at the unit's governance and ministerial levels. According to the CIP unit's Deputy Chairman, Julian Charles, writing in the capacity of acting chairman, the 2024-2025 fiscal period was marked by exceptional performance. The Citizenship by Investment unit recorded $402.2 million EC dollars in revenue, a 67% increase from the prior year. The unit also achieved a surplus of $145.5 million EC dollars, reflecting strong market engagement and an effective governance framework. The CIP unit's CEO, McLeod Emmanuel, indicated that cash and cash equivalents at the end of the period stood at 261 million EC dollars, demonstrating the program's financial stability. Due diligence revenue totaled 200 million EC dollars, supported by increased application volume and comprehensive vetting work by our teams and partners. Speaking on their need to pivot in response to restrictions to international travel for St. Lucian passport holders, the CEO continued, the unit instructed all marketing partners to discontinue the promotion of visa-free access and instead focus on the country's stability, regulatory strength, and investment environment. In the minister's policy overview, Dr. Ernest Hilaire wrote that the program strengthens the capacity of the states to respond to the needs of communities. It assists in the creation of work, the improvement of public services, the development of infrastructure, and the support of vulnerable groups. It allows our country to plan confidently for the future and to invest in the potential of its people. This is the true measure of its value. In the financial year ended the 31st of March 2025, the St. Lucia CIP received 2,957 applications, granted 2,278, almost 2 times the number granted in 2023-24, denied 355, more than 4 times the denials the previous year, and processed a total of 2,633 applications, representing a 110.98 year-on-year percentage increase, attributed to the unit's dedication to reducing processing backlog. The testimonials were offered by 2 of the program's partners who supported due diligence assessment, among other services provided. SRM, a London-based corporate intelligence and cybersecurity consultancy, gave an account of services offered to St. Lucia in 2024-25, describing its 8-year relationship with CIP St. Lucia as a close collaborative partnership. The firm attested to having conducted interviews and providing due diligence reports, tailoring its investigations on a case-by-case basis, and reviewing news media from over 100,000 sources to keep abreast with developments in the migration investment industry across jurisdictions. The head of due diligence at FACT, a global due diligence, digital forensics, and investigations provider, attested to seamless communication with the St. Lucia CIP and indicated that they provided 815 due diligence reports to the unit during this period. Staff at the CIP were trained by these international leaders in fundamental due diligence principles and methods, threat assessment, open source intelligence, and banking in the Middle East during the year 2024-2025. Ultimately, Grant Thornton's chartered accountants who audited the year's financial statements delivered their opinion as follows. The accompanying financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the unit as at March 31, 2025, and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board, IASB. For Choice News Now, I am Sienna Dalso.
Coming up, Ahlen Restaurant brings authentic Lebanese and Mediterranean fine dining to Rodney Bay, and the L'Histoire Collective launches Tiwe L'Histoire, showcasing 12 emerging St. Lucian writers. The stories and more coming up after the break. Stay fast. The news continues.
Quick and easy, top up your card. No bank account, you get a pass. BOSL, my freedom card. Adults and teens, no bank fees.
The first ever prepaid debit card is here, and BOSL has got yours. Tap, smile, reload, repeat. You don't have to bank with us or have a bank account.
That's freedom. The BOSL Freedom Card. Tap, smile, reload, repeat. Freedom.
My money, my way.
With BOSL, my freedom card.
The Rodney Bay Strip is welcoming a fresh culinary experience with the official opening of Ahlan Restaurant, bringing authentic Lebanese and Mediterranean cuisine to St. Lucia. 2 years in the making, the new fine dining establishment blends food, culture, heritage, and ambience, while adding renewed energy to one of the island's most popular commercial and entertainment districts. Kishana Smith was at the opening and filed this report.
A fresh culinary experience is taking shape along the Rodney Bay Strip after a 2-year-long project has now been completed, offering unique flavors of Mediterranean and Lebanese cuisine. The newly opened restaurant brings another unique flavor and cuisine to the island, offering yet another taste of culture for St. Lucians hoping to dine in. Scheduled to open its doors to the public from Wednesday, August 12 for dine-in dinner, the official ribbon-cutting ceremony unfolded on Sunday, August 10th, signaling the start of another fine dining opportunity for St. Lucians. Owner of the newly established Ahlan Restaurant expressed his enthusiasm about bringing the new dining experience to St. Lucia, highlighting the restaurant's focus on authentic Mediterranean and Lebanese cuisine while creating a welcoming atmosphere for diners to enjoy a taste of the region.
Today we celebrate the launch of Ahlan Lebanese Restaurant, which translated in English means welcome. And that is what we want every guest to feel the moment they walk through our doors. It's our Lebanese culture, where a meal is never just a meal. It's about gathering, sharing, breaking bread, telling stories, and celebrating with the people around the table. We are proud to introduce Ahlan Lebanese and Mediterranean Restaurant as a new gathering place in Rodney Bay. One where locals and visitors feel equally at home, whether it's a family celebration, a business dinner, a night out with friends, or simply sharing a meal. We hope that Ahlan becomes a place where connections are made and memories are created.
Country manager of Falcon Holdings Limited, Roberto Polius, reflecting on the auspicious occasion, noted that the restaurant is particularly special because it aligns with the owner's vision of legacy, heritage, and culture.
Ahlan is particularly special because it carries something personal. It reflects Mario's Syrian heritage and the traditions of Middle Eastern hospitality. The idea that food is about far more than eating. It is about gathering, generosity. It's about family, friendship, and connection. And so, Ahlan is in many ways a legacy project, one that brings heritage, hospitality, and our shared belief in the future of St. Lucia.
Prime Minister Philip Javier welcomed the new investment, noting that St. Lucia is among the most tourism-dependent countries in the world. However, he maintained that as the island continues on its path of development, greater emphasis must also be placed on the development of its human capital, ensuring that the skills and capabilities of its people evolve in tandem with the country's growth.
St. Lucia is a tourism-dependent country. It's arguably one of the most tourism-dependent countries in the world. And we want to develop it. We want it to develop, but we want it to develop with the people of the country. We cannot have an economy where the people are not moving together with that growth and that development.
Following the official opening ceremony, guests were invited to experience the fine dining offerings of Ahlan, providing them with a first glimpse of the new cuisine being introduced to St. Lucia. The evening provided attendees with an opportunity to sample a selection of Mediterranean and Lebanese dishes while experiencing the restaurant's inviting atmosphere, warm hospitality, and distinctive culinary approach, with many guests rating the overall experience a 10 out of 10.
Absolutely amazing. Great food, great company. It's so great to be able to have access to another type of cuisine in St. Lucia.
Everything tonight has been amazing. I love Lebanese cuisine, Mediterranean, everything. It's very light, very fresh. So I'm actually really happy that we have that in St. Lucia right now.
It was a beautiful opening. It was great to experience a different type of cuisine. I don't think we've had that in St. Lucia.
The opening comes at a time when there has been growing conversation about the vibrancy of the Rodney Bay commercial strip, with some questioning whether the area had lost some of the energy that once made it one of St. Lucia's most popular entertainment and dining hubs. But establishments such as Ahlan are helping to inject new life into the area, providing guests with another reason to return to the strip. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
For some travelers, asking for help can be difficult, especially when their disability is not immediately visible. Now, a simple sunflower is said to become a quiet signal for understanding at St. Lucia's cruise port, as officials on Friday, August 7th, launched the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program, aimed at creating a more patient, supportive, and inclusive experience for passengers with non-visible disabilities. Kishana Smith tells us more.
A small sunflower could soon carry a powerful message. On Friday, August 7th, officials from the St. Lucia Cruise Port officially launched the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program, joining a growing global movement designed to make public spaces and travel environments more accessible to people whose disabilities may not be immediately apparent. The initiative provides individuals with a discreet and voluntary way to indicate that they may require additional assistance, more time, patience, or flexibility while navigating the cruise port.
The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program is a global initiative designed to improve accessibility, inclusivity for people with non-visible, hidden disabilities by providing a simple, discreet way to signal that they may need additional support, guidance, patience, or understanding while they navigate ports of entry. So this is not limited only to cruise terminals, but also to airports as well.
Prayfield highlighted that a small symbol, typically a sunflower, will be used to denote that a person has a hidden disability.
A voluntary, discrete identifier, typically a sunflower, as I am wearing here, through a lanyard, a pin, wristband, or badge, indicates that the wearer has a hidden disability and may benefit from extra time, assistance, or a more flexible approach. The sunflower was chosen as the symbol because it represents happiness, positivity, strength, and confidence, and the program focuses on enabling participation rather than highlighting limitations.
She also assured that the undertaking by the St. Lucia Cruise Port forms part of broader efforts to foster a more inclusive and accessible society for persons with disabilities.
And that is how we at St. Lucia Cruise Port are redefining the way that we look at our cruise tourism industry here, not just for our well-enabled passengers, but creating and fostering a space that is inclusive for everyone who chooses to visit our shores. And we are very proud to announce this program here today on such a momentous occasion.
Officials highlighted that the Sunflower Initiative will officially commence at the start of the 2026-27 cruise season, with hopes that this endeavor will redefine the development of our cruise industry in St. Lucia. As St. Lucia continues to position itself as a welcoming destination for visitors from around the globe, the introduction of the program signals a broader commitment to ensuring that the travel experience is inclusive for everyone. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
This is Choice News Now. More news coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Collecting rainwater is easier than you think. With just a tank and a few simple connections, you can capture rainwater to use for non-potable uses, like cleaning, gardening, and more. Water is life. Every action matters. Every drop counts.
If you suffer with pain from fibromyalgia, lupus, sickle cell anemia, sciatica, or arthritis, Lockley DeCoste doctor specialists from overseas in St. Lucia will diagnose and treat patients who have been suffering long. Lockley DeCoste specialists will treat the symptoms of stroke, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries with shoulders, elbows, knees, back, and neck pain, even plantar fasciitis being a pain of the past. Lockley DeCoste specialists in St. Lucia EMG tests will measure the damage in neuromuscular disorders and diabetic neuropathy, because Lockley DeCoste doctor specialist provides proper diagnosis using the most effective treatment for you to live free of pain.
Massey Stores Waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Stores City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Welcome back. St. Lucia's 2026 Emancipation celebrations are placing emerging literary voices in the spotlight with the launch of Tiwe l'Histoire, Emerging Voices from St. Lucia. The new anthology features 12 writers whose short stories, poetry, and essays were developed through the l'Histoire Collective's inaugural writing retreat. The publication invites readers to look within, exploring St. Lucian identity, experiences, and stories through a new generation of writers. Sienna Dalson reports.
The latest activity under St. Lucia's 2026 Emancipation celebrations was the l'Histoire Collective's book launch on Saturday, the 8th of August, hosted by the Cultural Development Foundation. The Tiwe l'Histoire, Emerging Voices from St. Lucia, grew out of a creative writing workshop organized by the l'Histoire Collective in October 2025. Hosted at Balenbush Estate and funded by the Commonwealth Foundation, the publication features short stories, poetry, and essays written by attendees of the inaugural workshop. The l'Histoire Collective founder and executive director, Amani Mathre, highlighted the workshop's inspiring experiences that shaped Tiwe l'Histoire, Emerging Voices from St. Lucia.
Through our inaugural Tiwe l'Histoire writing retreat, we created a space like no other, shaped by contributions from gifted writers and dedicated facilitators. Something truly special came alive in those moments between the impassioned exploration and quiet reflection. Something we knew that would outlive that single moment and temporary space. It continues to live within the pages of this collection that we will unveil tonight.
Mathre described the collection as one that challenges readers not to look away, but to look within.
Tiwe l'Histoire, Emerging Voices from St. Lucia, is many things. It is at once a love letter to our homeland and an expression of quiet concern, a plea to be heard and a call to care. From short stories reimagining our history and folklore characters, to poems and personal essays examining family, community, and the wounds that shape us, these writings hold pieces of who we are.
Saturday's launch was the second leg of the l'Histoire Collective's 2-year cycle of capacity building followed by publishing. MacDonald Dixon presented as a facilitator of the inaugural retreat, commending the l'Histoire Collective for creating a home, family, and movement for literary artists, and welcoming the anthology's 12 writers into St. Lucia's artistic community.
You are the inheritors of a very long and noble tradition. You are coming into a field that have produced accomplished artists in every creative endeavor that you can think about, be it dance, be it sculpture, be it writing, and do not talk for music, and in particular Kaiso, where the exposure is perhaps at its most prolific and its most absorbing. Your work is not difficult because you have a bedrock from which to choose.
The official launch of Tiwe l'Histoire, Emerging Voices from St. Lucia, nodded to a range of artistic media and hallmarks of St. Lucian history, with its cover being a painted scene from Balenbush Estate, commissioned from Jonathan Gladding. Among the emerging voices who also read excerpts of their newly published works were young poet Tia Christopher, playwrights Hazan Louis and Monique Auguste, and lyrical essayist Amanda Faye Clark. The copies of Tiwe l'Histoire, Emerging Voices from St. Lucia, are available for purchase via a secure portal shared to the l'Histoire Collective social media as well as Amazon Books, with all proceeds contributing to the staging of the Collective's upcoming 2027 writing retreat. The leadership of the l'Histoire Collective are commended for maturing into unparalleled publishers, having emerged from the creativity of the Choice Newsroom. For Choice News Now, I am Sienna Dalso.
Efforts to strengthen Babonneau's water security are advancing as stakeholders move to implement the Marquee Watershed Project. Funded by the UNDP, the initiative aims to address seasonal drought and severe erosion through infrastructure improvements and stronger community conservation practices. Incoming Babonneau Council Chair Michael Gaspar says the project's long-term success will depend heavily on residents changing how they manage and protect local natural resources. Phoebe Popo reports.
Severe water shortages and failing riverbanks have long tested the resilience of Babonneau residents. But local leaders say that lasting solution requires more than a new infrastructure. Incoming chair of the Babonneau Constituency Council, Michael Gaspard, is highlighting the major benefits of the UNDP-funded Water for Resilience project within the Marquee watershed. However, Gaspard outlines how the watershed initiative will safeguard local livelihoods.
First of all, benefits water in the pipe. That's the first benefit, that everybody would love to have those benefits. More than that, the project seems to, it's worked in a way that the landowners will benefit. The plant, whatever is planted, we're hoping that it will have some economic benefits for them. So in other words, if you plant mangoes and trees like that, that they will reap the benefits on their land, you understand? And so we are hoping that this will give them that kind of benefit.
Michael Gaspard issues a direct call for mindset and behavioral changes across the district.
In terms of mobilizing the community, let me tell you, that calls for what we call behavior change. People have to learn to change behavior, change attitudes, and understand the magnitude of the problem so that we can see that change. So it's about mobilization, talking to Choice and expecting Choice Television to help us pass on the message, the church and everybody understanding the gravity of that situation so that we can make the change.
As interventions get underway, local authorities emphasize that protecting the Marquee watershed and securing Barbados' water supply is a shared responsibility. With community consultation active and stakeholder support growing, the initiative marks a vital step towards long-term environmental stability, provided residents take the call for sustainable habits to heart. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
The news continues after the break with PR Daily. Stay with us.
Courts presents their 2026 all-range event. Be inspired at all Court stores nationwide. Come see what's new in everyday furniture and appliances. Get a chance to win an Indorama 30-inch stove with appliance purchase of $5,999 or more. Great deals on TVs and wall mounts. Everyday great value on mattresses. Bedroom bundle deals up to 25% off. Be inspired at the Courts 2026 all-range event. Affordable convenience for your home. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offer ends July 25th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Every building pulses with its own life and energy. Let's ensure yours shines with health and vitality. Lewis Industries infuses life into every corner of your buildings with tailored cleaning solutions. From conquering mold and mildew, restoring floors to their former glory, to meticulous post-construction cleanups, washroom sanitizations, and caring for delicate fabrics and upholstery, our comprehensive services covers all your building cleaning needs. Create an environment that boosts productivity and leaves a lasting impression, because clean is not just an appearance, but a performance. Bring your workspace to life with Lewis Industries. Call us at 450-4060 or visit us at www.lewisindustries.ltd.com to schedule your professional cleaning service today.
Welcome back to Choice News Now Prime. Here's PR Daily with Kishana Smith.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PR Daily, your trusted source for the latest press releases, important announcements, community initiatives, and events. I am your presenter, Kishana Smith. Bank of St. Lucia commemorated 25 years of operation. As such, the institution is reflecting on a quarter-century of service, resilience, and commitment to the people of St. Lucia, with a special Thanksgiving celebration recognizing the milestones, relationships, and community impact that have shaped its journey. More in this report.
Great is thy faithfulness.
Almighty God, as the Bank of St. Lucia celebrates its 25th anniversary, we thank you for the many ways in which you have blessed them and for the many ways in which they have been a blessing to the people of this land and beyond.
An opening prayer, scripture readings, and songs of praise and worship are just some of the features of your everyday Sunday morning church service. Last Sunday, however, this joyous atmosphere filled the National Cultural Center as Bank of St. Lucia brought together staff, partners, and friends for a 25th anniversary Thanksgiving ecumenical service. With the spiritual guidance of Father Stephen Quinlan, the special service was one of reflection and gratitude to commemorate a quarter-century of success and service. According to Senior Manager of Human Resources, Mr. Kendall Warner, this service was a celebration of people, purpose, and perseverance.
Today, as we gather as one BOSL, in reflection and gratitude, we celebrate a significant milestone in the life of our institution, the 25th anniversary. This occasion is more than a celebration of years. For many of you who stood by us through the last 25 years and before the coming together of BOSL, you can attest to what helped us not only to survive, but to thrive and stand where we are today.
The service was led by BOSL employees with the exception of the Impulse Band leading the praise and worship and Father Quinlan, whose homily spoke to the importance of thanksgiving, gratitude and compassion. Managing Director Mr. Rolf Phillips commended his entire team for their dedication, courage and guidance through both the opportunities and challenges they faced throughout the years.
Bank of St. Lucia was formed 25 years ago with a distinct purpose to return assets post-colonial to the people of St. Lucia. In terms of now, we are in a position where the bank has restored shareholders' faith. We're able to pay dividends. The share price has returned to the levels that shareholders would have, some people would have purchased for, so they can now have value that they can pass on to their people. In terms of what's next, we certainly will do everything we can to continue to deliver on those objectives and make Bank of St. Lucia, keep Bank of St. Lucia strong enough that we can make the returns that were committed to be made to the people of St. Lucia.
With over 80,000 customers, officials at Bank of St. Lucia say that they take their responsibilities to St. Lucians very seriously and are committed to working together to keep supplying its customers with products and services that are safe, convenient, and reliable for the next 25 years to come.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition is strengthening capacity to safeguard public health at ports of entry through the hosting of Port Health Stakeholder Training. The training brought together stakeholders in Port Health with the aim of reviewing the standard operating procedures for port health operations. It also provided an opportunity for stakeholders to enhance their knowledge of preventing, detecting, communicating, and responding effectively to public health threats at the ports of entry.
The Environmental Health Division within the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition recently hosted a Port Health Stakeholder Training aimed at strengthening St. Lucia's capacity to prevent, detect, communicate and respond effectively to public health threats at air and seaports of entry. The training brought together representatives from the Environmental Health Division, Customs and Excise Department, St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, and Immigration Department to reflect on the standard operating procedures SOPs for port health functions in response to public health threats. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar-George commended the initiative to strengthen port health capacity, stressing that continuous training and multi-agency cooperation is necessary.
So it's important to ensure that every agency, every stakeholder is continuously updated on what they need to do if there's a suspect threat. So this is why standard operating procedures are important. They provide us with a common framework for action, particularly when we are operating under pressure. But procedures are only effective when the people responsible for implementing them understand them, have practiced them, and know how their responsibilities connect with those of other agencies.
Dr. Sharon Belmar-George highlighted the importance of strengthened collaboration, multi-agency cooperation, and clearer communication for effective preparedness and response to public health threats.
The workshop also provides an opportunity to reinforce the principle that preparedness is a shared responsibility. Our ports must remain safe, secure, resilient, and capable of supporting the continued movement of people and goods while protecting public health. This required sustained collaboration rather than cooperation only when an emergency occurs.
The Port Health Stakeholder Training covered disease surveillance, international health regulation (IHR) compliance, and public health emergency response. It entailed presentations, open discussions, and tabletop simulation exercises to help stakeholders practice working together during a public health emergency at a port of entry. Reporting from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition, I am Fernal Neptune.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Sustainable Development wishes to advise the public that a social media post currently circulating online alleging that a couple in Ole or Dennery discovered a venomous snake in their toilet bowl is false. The ministry has confirmed that the accompanying video did not originate in St. Lucia and does not depict an incident that occurred anywhere on the island. The circulation of this misleading content has the potential to cause unnecessary fear and panic among the public. The ministry urges members of the public to exercise caution when sharing information on social media and to verify the authenticity of reports before posting them. The spread of misinformation can create panic, undermine public confidence, and hinder the work of authorities responding to genuine incidents. While the ministry continues to work closely with relevant agencies on matters relating to snake management and public safety, residents are reminded that any snake sighting should be reported immediately to the appropriate authorities. The Ministry of Agriculture continues to strengthen its response to snake-related matters through the National Snake Risk Management Framework, which focuses on surveillance, rapid response, public education, and community engagement. And that's all for today's edition of PR Daily. If you have a press release that you want to share with our audience, send us an email at news.choicemedianetwork@gmail.com. Thank you for watching PR Daily, and do stay tuned for more news and updates. Back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Kishana. Let's now take a look at the local weather forecast.
Welcome to our Cruise Community Series, where we meet the persons behind the scenes who drive our diverse cruise industry. Today, we meet one of our amazing cruise agents.
Platinum Port Agency, we are a maritime vessel agency. Basically, we are agents for whenever maritime vessels need to come into St. Lucia. They need to be cleared with the government officials of St. Lucia, and we are the ones that facilitate those requests. Any foods, items, so you try to foster a relationship with the cruise lines, you exchange emails, try to create a human connection, different channels of economic stimulation that happens from that. You have, say, the drivers that need to get the persons to and from, or the goods to and from. You have farmers or suppliers. There's a lot of things that we do in the cruising sector that may not be on the front line for people to see, but rest assured we're getting it done.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store's City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Welcome back. Hi, Sienna Dalson with our regional news package.
Welcome to the regional news package. I'm your presenter, Sienna Dalton. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, says that while all trends show that crime continues to decline, her administration must keep the pressure on criminal elements. This comes as the Prime Minister spoke about the importance of new mobile police posts across the country. We hear more from TV6 News TNT's Jewel Brown.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar said in a social media post that, quote, while all trends show that crime continues to decline, we must keep the pressure on criminal elements and strengthen the presence of law enforcement in our communities, end quote. The Prime Minister made the declaration on Saturday, as she also said that construction of mobile police posts at Taruba and Grand Bazaar are underway. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar said that with these new mobile police posts, citizens can look forward to an increased level of safety across Trinidad and Tobago. Earlier on Saturday, TV6 News spoke with Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander via telephone.
Mobile police post sites at this time, 3. One at the hard drums, one at the on the highway to Grand Bazaar, under the Grand Bazaar flyover, and the other one up at Taruba flyover, just at the top. It is going quite well. We have already put down the foundation, and now we are looking to go to other sites. But what we're trying to do, we are trying to open these 3 sites, possibly next week.
The Homeland Security Minister spoke about consultations with the state-owned National Gas Company regarding the government's announcement of a planned 30 Joint Police Defence Force posts across the nation.
I want to also commend the persons at the NGC for the dialogue that we had for such a long time involving all of this, when everybody thought we were just doing things crazy, helter-skelter. We engaged them very early. I want to thank the Commissioner of Police. I want to thank the Chief of Defence Staff.
On Saturday, Opposition Senator Foster Cummings said, quote, no one is objecting to the establishment of a police post at Etihad grounds. The issue is the manner in which the government has gone about it, end quote. The Homeland Security Minister had a direct message for the opposition.
We are not taking no pushback from anybody. Yeah, that's attempted pushback. And now they're talking about a lot of different things involving procurement and all of that. We have no problem with that. But what I would like though, before I answer the procurement as it relates to this, let us exchange between the PNM and this government. I hand over the procurement for this, and you hand over the procurement for the Bazizi House.
The Prime Minister, in her statement on Saturday, once again thanked the brave men and women of the law enforcement agencies and also thanked all those who continue to support and assist in the fight against crime. Homeland Security Minister Alexander also expressed his gratitude to Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar, quote, for the vision and the support, end quote. Jewel Brown, TV6 News.
Late last week, the residents of Guyanese village, Melanie Damishana, staged a peaceful yet powerful protest in support of families affected by the MV Barima tragedy. Among the protesters were members of the opposition, as well as the mother and supporters of the MV Barima's captain, calling for his release, after being charged with 72 counts of murder as a result of the vessel's sinking. We hear more from HGP-TV's Antonio Day.
Residents of Melanie Damishana, along with several members of civil society, protested in the presence of President Irfan Ali as he hosted a public consultation on the government's Model Village initiative. The protesters demanded the release of the 3 men who have been charged with 72 counts of murder. Among those arrested was Captain Kevin Price, who hails from the village, where these protests have occurred.
They said to me that everybody got to move. I said, why? We are waiting to go into the meeting because the meeting didn't start yet. And there is where everything started. And they told me, as the chairman, that I got to go beyond the barricade. And that is why all of this foolishness started. So I am beyond the barricade right now. And I told them that this is going far.
Other protesters were debarred from entering the public consultation after police erected barricades. Filma Allen, mother of Captain Kevin Price, who is among the 3 men charged with 72 counts of murder, was visibly emotional.
What is government doing with the child? What are they really doing, man? Oh, God! Why they don't take the blame for themselves? Just because you're poor, they try to take the eyes of past people. This morning I had to leave since what o'clock is Cancer Section Institute I come from. I had to leave since this morning.
Dr. Terence Campbell, APNU parliamentary lead, and Psycho Andrews, APNU member of parliament, joined the family in solidarity.
He was given a vessel that was not seaworthy. But if he had refused to take that vessel out to sea, he would have lost his job. And when he must calculate about losing his job, he must think that he would not be able to take care of his mother, who is right now receiving treatment for cancer.
What model village? Secondly, if you come to share a plan about a model village, look at the timeline for these engagements. It is under 2 hours. I'm a businessman. If I have a staff meeting, by the time my staff ready to start talking, and it's about 6 of them, you understand, it would carry you to 2 hours.
How can you, as the leaders of this country, come and sit down with persons whose families are still at the bottom there, talking to them about housing at this point in time?
And we are here in support of the friends and families of the captain of the MV Burima, who organized this peaceful protest.
My cousin has lost her son, she one son, and her 2 grandchildren on the Burima. And the pain that she's going through right now, you know, there's no recognition from the government. She hasn't been spoken to about anything, or what she was spoken to hasn't been like substantiated.
I tell you right, so for go home, for go work. Then the police can't collect me back and tell me I can't go through. They tell you right by torch, they go in. And you just take me back.
Those were the actions by aggrieved protesters. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HEP 90 News from the community of Melanie Damashano.
The Antigua and Barbuda's men's and women's volleyball squads are preparing for the upcoming Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association ECVA Senior Championships, set for August 12th to the 16th in the British Virgin Islands. The men's team is seeking a 4th straight title, while the women are also aiming for the top spot. We hear more from Terry Andrew with ABS News.
The male volleyballers of this country are finalizing preparations ahead of the ECFA Senior Championships. The team will be under the watchful eyes of head coach Fitzroy Benjamin. The three-peat winners will be looking for a 4th consecutive championship, and they'll have to accomplish that feat with a youthful squad.
We have a lot of people who are developing in the sport, and they're coming through, so we've decided to give them the opportunity. We have our youngest player being about 17. And he is a starter. Everything is possible. We can get the 4 peats, but we were prepared. We are prepared. We started since in June, early June. So we have done the work. We had Mickey that joined us the last week there. We anticipated another person out of Canada, but things did not work out for that situation. So we just have to play with what we have.
With many of the senior players missing from the squad, leading the national outfit will be Kyron Davis. He says the squad will be up for the task.
We just need to have each other back because we all have it. Every night their guys come out, they play hard, and you know the teamwork is there. You can't beat another team unless you have confidence and we work together. You know, some of the seniors couldn't make it this one, but it's been going good so far. And I see that the young ones, after training for like 2-3 months, they kind of up their game more. So right now I can sit out we're at 95%. Just a little tweaking to do. We're going to bring back home that other championship.
On the female side, Marley Nyota Peters will lead the women of Antigua and Barbuda into the ECFA Championship. Peters is loving the fight and passion for the game exhibited from the ladies.
Nothing but goal. We have a real strong team, well balanced. So I'm expecting the girls to go out now and put in their best foot to power. The power is very strong. The middle's pretty decent. I think we have a full-rounded team. Passing wise, our hitting, our power, our opposite. We have a full-rounded team.
The Antiguans will face St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Grenada, Dominica, Bermuda, Anguilla, and host the BVI. Terry Andrew, ABS Sports.
And that's all for the regional news package. Back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Sienna. Our final segment coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
It's all about you and the dreams you've believed, how you made your way ahead, all the goals you have achieved.
All along the way, you've been a partner so true, all the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. It's still about you and the life you're shaping now, all the doors that open wide, every step, every vow.
All along the way, you'll be a partner so true, all the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. We're the Bank of St. Lucia, so bank on your future. We're the Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need.
Celebrating 25 years strong. Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need.
Moi qui suis pour dormir pas de moi agent vraiment passer immigration ngako police tebe moi hawa ki bay
Moi fin rester seul no match.
Quand j'ai moi vrai nga fait comme un bobol comme people who know me look at me as being a humble little guy, you know.
Je vais pas me dire lady. Mardi c'est comment c'est pas mon travail.
Moi ou pas fait moi pas fait. Hello, excuse me, I'm back.
Voice of the People. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Choice TV.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store's City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Welcome back. Before we enter tonight's broadcast, here's our update. A new University of Toronto study suggests full-fat dairy may be healthier than previously thought. Researchers studied 74 overweight or obese adults over 12 weeks and found that consuming 3 servings of full-fat dairy each day did not lead to significant weight gain, increased body fat, or higher cholesterol levels. In fact, participants consuming more dairy recorded lower blood pressure while increasing their intake of important nutrients, including calcium, protein, and vitamin D. For years, dietary guidelines have generally recommended low-fat or fat-free dairy because full-fat products contain saturated fats, which have been associated with cardiovascular disease. However, researchers say growing evidence suggests dairy fat may affect the body differently than previously believed. One explanation is the unique structure of dairy foods. The combination of proteins, fats, and other nutrients may influence how slowly nutrients are digested and absorbed. Researchers say the findings could be particularly encouraging for older adults who often require nutrient-rich foods to maintain adequate protein and vitamin intake while consuming fewer calories. With that, we come to the end of our primetime newscast. On behalf of the entire Choice TV family, thank you for staying with us. Stay tuned for more quality programming on Choice TV.